everybody, happy Sunday to you, and thanks for tuning in to the Cigar Vixen channel. So today I am featuring about, let's see, three cigars that are fairly limited or harder to find, but just trying to kind of change it up a little bit. Sometimes I tend to recycle some of the cigars because I have a lot of different cigars in my humidor, and some of them I just kind of get into the mood to smoke versus just strictly sticking to what's new. So I was trying to mix it around a little bit different for you this week. Starting with number 5, we have the new CAO Flathead, the V21, featuring a Mexican San Andres wrapper, Connecticut broadleaf binder, Nicaraguan and Dominican ligero on the filler. So notes of molasses, leather, cocoa, a little bit of black pepper. It's said to be a little more kind of ramped up on the overall strength and flavor. I believe there's some ligero mixed in there. It is a $13 to $14 stick, and again, it's the newest featuring the newest offering from CAO Flathead series. As you recall, I mean that line's been around for a little while. It was always fun to kind of see the different projects. I always refer to CAO and Rick Rodriguez especially because he's always coming out with these cool little projects, whether it's the Brazilian stuff that he was doing, or the Flathead series, or he did the different regions and just all these different projects that he does, which are really cool ideas behind them and kind of capturing different themes. So it's nice to see a newer addition to that one with the CAO Flathead V21. Moving on to number 4 this week, we have the Micallef A. Now, of course, this is a cigar. If you follow the ambassador program through Micallef, I used to talk about it a lot more. I haven't talked about it in a while, but it's definitely something that you can still join. Their ambassador program is really cool. You're always the first to get information, the first to, anything that's exclusive that's going on. They have different discounts going on for some of the Micallef swag. You also get the cool ambassador coin. But again, just a fun program. So the A was a cigar that was basically done as kind of, I think it was more of a double thing. So kind of a tribute to all the ambassadors, but also something that was offered exclusively to brick and mortar shops, which is great. Love to see the support there for the brick and mortar retailers. And so we have the Micallef A, originally in the Churchill. It's a really good price point on that cigar. It's about a $7.50 stick. They will be launching a newer size here coming up. If you follow them, which I encourage you to do so on their Instagram, there's a lot more information about that. But again, the Micallef A, great flavor, packs a nice little punch to it, featuring a Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper, Sumatra binder, Nicaraguan and Dominican on the filler. To me, the cigar gives a nice amount of leather, little hints of cedar. There's a hint of what I like to think of having a cup of coffee and pouring a nice amount of half and half into it. So it has that creamier kind of texture, creamier flavor to it. And again, nice little punch to it. I also pick up a little background of raisin. So a little hint of that raisin, kind of a sweetness to it, but just a nice cigar. Again, great price point. This, in fact, is the only cigar on today's top 5 that is going to be coming in under $8. So it's a real steal. All the other cigars that are on the list this week are over $11. So again, kind of just mixed in this one for fun. It's a great price point. And again, it's nice to show the support to your local brick and mortars. So definitely pick up a box or so if you're out and about, and you'll enjoy the flavors. Number 3, we have the JC Newman, the American, this time in a newer Vitola, the double Robusto. It's a 5.5 by 56. To date, the thickest Vitola offered in the American, also the strongest. So the reason being is that they've added an extra ligero leaf into the filler. And as you probably already know, I've done a review of this one. There's a lot of information out there about the American. It is 100% American cigar, American made, using all American grown tobacco. And it's an old brand, vintage brand that was kind of reintroduced, revamped up by Drew Newman, and it's a beautiful cigar. Again, I had a chance to see the original box and the original display of the cigars back at the PCA trade show in their beautiful, I guess it was a mock-up of the actual El Reloj factory. It was really cool to do a walkthrough. I did show that on my PCA video in case you missed it. The American is just a really cool idea. Great cigar, again, revamped as it was an original vintage brand of the company's, and of course it's made still at the El Reloj factory in Tampa, Florida. I do invite you to visit their factory if you're ever in the area. It's something that that is just amazing to see. Definitely invite you to do that. But again, looking at the American cigar, this time in that newer vitola, featuring a Florida sun-grown wrapper, Connecticut broadleaf binder, and then Connecticut Havana and Pennsylvania Mennonite filler in the tobacco. And then again, I mentioned that the double Robusto has that extra leaf of Pennsylvania Ligero to make it the strongest. So beautiful cigar coming out of the J.C. Newman factory, El Reloj in Tampa, Florida. Which brings me to my number 2 cigar. We have the Liga Privada H99. So this cigar is one that is, I guess it would be considered limited in that it is currently only available for Drew Estate diplomat retailers when they're hosting events. So I know you might be watching going, great, I can't even go get this cigar. But there are actually a lot of different Drew Estate events that are constantly going on in different retail shops. So definitely check out, you can go right onto the Drew Estate website and check out their list of Drew Estate diplomat retailers and then find out when they're having an event. This is might be something that maybe they already had a past event and they might still have some. So it's just something to kind of cruise around and look for. It kind of adds to the fun, almost like a little hunt, if you will, for a certain cigar. I tend to like those sometimes. So again, the Drew Estate H99 is featuring a Corojo seed grown in the Connecticut River Valley for a wrapper, a Mexican San Andres Negro binder, Honduran and Nicaraguan on the fillers. This one's going to give you a nice amount of earth and cayenne pepper. You get a mixture of both milk chocolate, which also kind of gives a transition into a darker chocolate, more of that bitter tasting chocolate versus that sweeter milk chocolate. You kind of get a little bit back and forth depending on which third you're in on the cigar. And it also features a nice sun-drenched cedar. Really a fan of this one, as I am most of the Liga Privada line. Tremendous different flavors that they offer. And it's always fun to explore anything new that Drew Estate puts out. And this cigar is also coming in between the $14 to $15 range, so it's like 14 and change basically for this cigar. As I mentioned, all the cigars this week are on that somewhat higher price point except the Micallef A, which brings me to my number 1 cigar. It is a newer cigar that I talked about during the PCA trade show. It is the Eliot Ness by Protocol. It was a follow-up to the Sir Robert Peel, and just a really good cigar. So I didn't have a lot of them to sample after the show. As I mentioned during like the What's in the Bag PCA video as well as the trade show video, it was a different year in that there just weren't a lot of samples given out. So I actually only smoked it once and I actually did a review with it, but the Maduro version I really enjoyed, and definitely one that I think is worthy to make its way into your list of smoking, also into your humidor. I think they'd be really just a nice addition, like a whole box of them into your humidor, and you can kind of go through them, especially if you have any, law enforcement friends or any history buffs that follow any of the stuff. I think the whole tribute to Eliot Ness is pretty cool. And then again, the band itself is looks very similar to the Sir Robert Peel, that same kind of feel with the box and all the different emblems and medals that are shown in there. But again, completely different blend and tremendous flavor on this one. So the Eliot Ness by Protocol Cigars, featuring Nicaraguan broadleaf wrapper, an Esteli Habano binder, and then Corojo and Esteli and Jalapa on the filler. This one gives off notes of red and black pepper. You get a nice dark chocolate. You get kind of an earthy cedar walnut kind of combination just as you smoke it throughout. The different transitions are there throughout each third, which I enjoyed as well. Again, just a cigar that I thought you guys would enjoy. You should be able to find these now. I believe they already started shipping out to retailers, and this one's going to land right around the $12 price point. So again, nice variation of cigars ranging this week from, again, that lower price point of $7.50 all the way up to the $17.50. I don't know if I mentioned that on the American, the double Robusto. So again, kind of something out there for everybody. Definitely a fun week. And again, enjoy your Sunday. Be happy, be glorious out there, be safe, stay blessed. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in and spending a little bit of your Sunday with me. Cheers.